Jez here from nigezza.co.uk, and I'm here with a project to help you use up some of that cardstock you might have that has been sitting there and you ain't done very much with it. Okay, so we're going to make this mini album. So it's a nice size. It's 6 by 9, I think. God, how to not be prepared. So yeah, it's 6 inches wide by 9 inches tall. I don't know why I didn't just trust myself. 6 by 9 it is. This is the prototype I made, which I made out of some retired Halloween paper that I got last year when it was on clearance, and it is made from 4 pieces of 12 by 12. So this is one of the pieces of 12 by 12, and then I've just cut some nice big photo mats there, and I've used some Memories and More cards as well to have little journaling spots there, and I have embellished it there. So, and I've worked my way through. I didn't bother covering these. I decided I could just stick photos straight on there, and then I've just decorated it throughout, and I say used some Memories and Mores there as well. And I created this little envelope, and I shall show you how I did that as well. And I did, you might recognise that from, I think that was the free one in Celebration. So when this was on clearance, I bought the matching, all the matching bits that went in it, the twine, the washi tape, as well, and I've used some of our new elements as well with it, and so there is loads and loads of room to put in there whatever you like. And this is Celebration ribbon, so it was really fun to make. I gave it to my other half to look at. I went, what do you think? And it was like, blimey, it's quite sturdy. So when you make it up, it is quite sturdy. So I made that one, and then I made 2 little mini ones as well. You might have seen my video on the one I did with Bundle of Love. These were the prototypes I made prior to that, and in that video I say you have the option of making some extra pockets. So there's one there, and one in there if you stuck those 3 bits down where you stick in just on 2 sides rather than it all together. You get some extra sort of pockages there. So so I made all this, plus I have done some gift boxes and a couple of other things out of a pack of 12 by 12. So that's quite a lot of things you can get from your pack of DSP. So anyway, we can't buy this paper anymore, so I am going to show you what I did with some paper you can buy. So the paper I'm going to use is the Petal Passion Paper. So you pick out 4 pieces that you're going to use, and I've chosen these 4, which look like that on the back. And each piece is dealt with in exactly the same way. So you're going to score them. They're directional. You've got to think about, this one's a bit directional. So you're going to score it down the centre at 6, and then you're going to turn it at 90 degrees and score at 3. And I want it to go this way, so we'll put the 3 here. If we put the 3 at the other side, it would be upside down. And then we do that for the rest of these. Are pretty random, so I don't think there's any worry about where you would do this. So 6, turn 90 degrees and 3. All measurements will be, as usual, on my blog, nigezza.co.uk. And I'm showing you this because you may have been hanging on to DSP all year, thinking it's too nice to do anything with, and now we've got a new catalogue coming out, and there's going to be more lovely DSP that you want. So why not do some projects where you actually use it up? And you might have bought some on clearance, and so this makes a lovely way to use your papers in a way to do lots of lovely memory keeping. I am a lover of scrapbooking. It was something that papercraft wise was something that I did more of than card making, and certainly that is our pages. Now you are got to decide which one do you want to be the front and which one do you want to be the back. I'm going to have that as the front, and I'm probably going to might have spots at the back. I don't particularly like this, and that is one the two middle ones you're not going to see that side of, so they are going to get glued completely, so that one is going to be completely lost. I'm going to alternate that because I've got too light and too dark together, and do it that way. So we've then got a dotty back. Yep, quite like that. So it opens like that. They are going to get stuck down together, so you're not going to see the back side of that one. You're going to cover up these little flowers, which in a way seems a shame, and then have the dots at the back. If I wanted to see those flowers, I could in fact do that, and then we've got those flowers on the back, which actually I might do that instead. Yeah. Yeah, so we're covering up the dots and those funny crisscrosses, and we're going to have those flowers on the front and those flowers on the back, and actually that'll look quite nice then with a black spine, won't it? Okay, so that is, so then we need to glue those pages together. So I'm going to get some Tombow because I like a bit of wigglage, and you just put a bit of Tombow around the edges. I'm not going right up to the edge because it will lose a bit. Go down like that, and then stick that right on top of that one there. I'm going to get my bone folder. And I thought these albums make a really nice present if you're going to a special occasion. So if you're going to somebody's birthday weekend, hen weekend, whatever, you can theme it and take some photos. I've done it once before for my sister, and I took little journaling cards with me. I got all the guests to write few things about the weekend. I've actually got a little portable photo printer that prints out photos the size of a credit card, and so I actually printed the photos on the Saturday night. We'd got together on the Friday night, we had all day Saturday together, and we were going Sunday morning, and I had already previously made areas, photo-matted areas where I was going to stick the photos, and then I stuck in everybody's bits of journaling and gave it to my sister as I was leaving, and I think she liked it, and it was just a nice thing to do. So you can do that. You can get it prepared, or even if you're not got a photo printer to print them actually on the day, if you have some ideas that you're going to do it, then you might take specific photos and think about it. I sometimes write notes in my phone about a certain event, and then so when it does come to printing the photos off and sticking them in, you've already got your little bit of journaling done. And sometimes I just email it, and then I just print it if I don't like my handwriting, which I don't, and then you've got your journaling done. Okay, so that's that. So then there's just these edges to glue down. If you've seen my video, my the one sheet 12 by 12 one sheet album I did, this is exactly the same way of doing it. I know you probably can't see me doing it on this end, doing it exactly the same as I am at that end. You can, if you want, put a bead of glue down the centre, but I don't see the point myself in doing that. Here's the basic album there, waiting to be decorated. So I'm going to cut the mats up and come back to you and show you how to do the next step. Okay, so in preparation I'm using the Petal Passion Memories and More card pack, and I've been through it and I've pulled out all the cards that are just black and white. I don't want any of the ones with a bit of pink in, so I'm not going to use that side, so that I can look through and think which ones do I want to use. And I've still got some of these black gems, which are now retired, but I'm going to use them, and I've got some white accents that I might use, and I've got some embellishments that I haven't made earrings out of, and I've used the Petals and More die set and some other dies. I think that one's from the can't remember what it's called, the one with the charity ribbon thing on it, and I've done some letters and I've done some frames, and I've got them all in a pot to pull out however I want it. So I'm just going to do the cover. Okay, so got some things in readiness for the cover. So what I've done here is I've cut, I've forgotten now because I did this first, so that's 2.5 inches by just over 9, because when I did it the first time I cut it exactly at 9, and kind of went a little bit, wasn't quite right, so I've actually gone through this and sort of placed where I want things, so that's what that bit of ribbon is there. So I've got our shimmery black ribbon, which I thought I'm going to use as a way of closing this, so I'm going to lay that there because I want this to stick over it. So I'm going to secure this just at the ends here. Turn it over and do it on the back. There we go. And then I'm going to get some Tombow, and what I did was I scored it down the centre and then 1/8 of an inch either side, so it's got a little bit, because this is quite thick, so when you go to put it on, it will go over nice and neatly. That's what I thought. So I'm going to get some Tombow, and because I want a little bit of wiggle time, and it's a nice strong glue, and you want it to be nice and strong, because I personally want this album to last and to be flicked through and looked at. There we go. So there we go. So I've got that perfect at the top, and I'll just do a little bit of trimming at the bottom. And these are bits I've already made, which I'm going to go through after. And then I've used the decorative ribbon, I think that's what it's called, punch, and made an edging, which I thought I would stick down there to make it a little bit pretty. So, bit of Tombow on the edge of this. And stick that over the edge. So I've kind of stuck it so that it's overlapping that a little bit. That glue stuff will dry and I'll be able to get rid. Okay. And then, so I'm now gonna do a little bit more fast fuse here, but I'm not going to go right to the end. And then I've pulled out kind of what I want to go on the front. I thought that flower was quite nice because it kind of matches that a bit. Wanted to mat it on something, so I'm using this. So I'm going to stick this on not quite straight. I wanted a bit of a frame for this, so this is the stitched square frame. So I've cut them by laying them all together. So I've got different sized frames. And then I want some leaves poking out from underneath. Might do that. the edge. I kind of like this sort of scrapbooky layered effect that you can get. And then if I had nails, and then I'm going to stick Amazing across there, I think. And that's going to be my front cover. So I'm going to stick those all down and come back to you with what I'm going to do on the inside. So I've been decorating the front, so I've used some of the Memories and More cards. I've cut them down slightly. I've got some die cuts from the Petals and More there, the Amazing. I've added 2 of our tags that I didn't use earrings out of, and I've put the strip down the back there, the same as down the front. And I've done some of the decorating on the inside, but I'm going to do some with you. So I've attached that to the ribbon so it doesn't fall off. So I've done this one on this side, so I just picked out some scraps and added that there, and I'm going to do it sort of matching on the other side. So I've done lots and lots of stamping with the Petals and More stamp set and cut the little elements out with the matching dies, and I've put things in here that I am going to use. So I'm going to stick this on the inside here. I was going to mat it all the way around, and I decided that I wouldn't. So let me show you how I decorated this bit. So this and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I made a little envelope. If I just flick through the next page, I've got things to do. So this one that I finished, I stuck a little sentiment there. I've left that one blank, which I could embellish later, and this one that I've stuck down, so I did trim it slightly to make it fit there. And the heart is from the Ribbon of Hope die set, and the swirl is from the Swirly Snowflakes. I really like that swirl. I think it gives it a nice classy look. And then on this back one, you see where I've done the partial thing again. Here I used the daisy punch and some of our organza ribbon to do that one. I haven't stuck anything on the underneath, but it's this little envelope that I'm going to show you how I made that, and I've used some of the stamps. I'm going to use, probably when I get to grips with doing it, I'll probably use a lot more of the stamps and the sentiments in it. So I'll show you how I made the envelope. So to make the envelope, you need, I used a piece of basic black, and that measures 4 inches by 2.5, and the little tag is 1 3/8 by no, that's the DSP. The tag is 1 7/8 by 2.5. You will need a little bit of DSP to decorate it. So I'm going to use, it's easier to use your school board for the scoring on this. So it measures 2.5, so you put it at 2 1/4 to score 1/4 inch down there. Flip it again, put it at 2 1/4 and score. Okay, then we're going to score at 1 1/2. All the measurements will be on my blog, and then 3. And then this is going to be our top, so put it again at 2 1/4, and then with your cutting blade you're going to cut to this second score line, and then do the same on the other side. So put it at 2 1/4, then you know you're on the right line, and cut down to that second score line. Okay, and then just take your snips and snip it at a slight diagonal there. Okay, then we're going to use the tag topper punch to shape the top. So that is just gonna, it is now 2 inches, so that will go down there, and we can just cut our tag. And then we need our banner punch, and before we do that we are just going to fold the ends, give them a bit of a burnish, and then poke that down there, and I don't want to go quite to the end. I want to do it so that the ends of the paper are at the 2 diagonal. Do you see? Don't want to go there, want to pull it back slightly to there, give it a punch, and then that gives you the envelope shape opening, and it miters your ends, except it didn't, that one. Oh, that's a bit odd. I'll just cut that. Okay, cut it a bit better. And then we'll just fold the ends up. And then we'll take a little bit of DSP, and this wants to be, should have cut this when I had my trimmer out, anyway, this wants to be 1 3/8 by 1 7/8. So I'm going to cut this to 1 3/8. That to 1 7/8. One thing that I should have done before I cut it was it's going to be harder to put it in the banner punch now. Where I've done this before is I've had a longer piece and I've just cut the end, cut it to the size I wanted once it was cut. But you forget how you do it when you get the camera rolling. You just do it. Right, so now that can go down, and then again, don't want it to the end. We want to match those corners to those corners. Undo that. So that will now mat onto there, like so. Okay, get a bit of glue, stick it down. And then the little envelope, the little piece that's going to go in the middle, you are just going to, because it's slightly smaller than 2, kind of eyeball it to when it's sort of in the middle. And then what I did was I took a small corner rounder and rounded the ends. Still a bit longer than I would like it. Oh, that's cute. Okay, and then you can put ribbon in it if you want. So that is going to stick on there. And I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do on there. So on this page, I have got 2 squares frames from the stitch framelets. I think I've explained before, I cut them out by just laying all the stitch framelets together, and I just cut them out all in one run. So do that, and then the bigger one, and then they just all pop out like that. Simples. So I'm going to lay these one on top of each other, and I'm going to have this leaf pattern. Just coming down. Okay. And then underneath, that just says "You Are My Sunshine," which is a song I often sing to my kids, my other half, until they tell me to shut up because I can't sing. Okay, so there we have it. That is my album, which will have lots of lovely photos. I like the fact that it's black and white because then it's not going to interfere with the photos. I'm going to do some gluing and sticking. Oh, I haven't stuck that down. and I haven't done that side yet because I wasn't sure if I was going to do put 30 on it or something. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this as a 30th anniversary one or what yet, so I'm not sure. So I'm going to leave that. I'm probably going to do words. I'm probably going to put celebrate or something on there. So yeah, so that's my lovely album. Good way of using your cardstock because it all matches, it all coordinates, and so therefore your final results will look very, very beautiful. So there we go. One very nice album. We'll take full-size photos as well as cut down ones. Having your memories and more, your stamp set, all your paper all coordinating. That's really, really lovely. I'm going to cut that down a bit because it's a bit long. There. Okay, hope you like it. All the details will be on my blog, nigezza.co.uk. Okay, see you soon. Don't forget, like and subscribe, please. Like and subscribe. I need the subs. I'm almost at 1,000 and I can't wait. Okay, bye.